Now 2% of psychopaths have unleashed the war between Russia and Ukraine, an economic war, World War III as you wish. Bonjour mes amis, it's Angie. Between once fraternal peoples, in order to divide the world into zones, to bring the new world order closer. As a result, it will be one center to which all resources would be flocked. That's the real reason of what is happening now between Russia and Ukraine. This is the beginning of the end of freedom, legacy, truth, and love. People are just being pitted against each other. According to the mainstream media, Ukraine says that they are being bombed by Russia, and Russia says that Ukraine is bombing itself to create a provocation. The economic situation in Russia is unprecedented. Sanctions are imposed both by the US, by Europe, and by Russian government itself. As for Ukraine, it wants these sanctions to be continued and strengthened. Now I am addressing all conscious and awakened people. How do you think? Will these sanctions stop Russia's government? I think the answer is obvious. These sanctions, on the contrary, will provoke Russian government to take tougher measures, because if you are conned like an animal and the whole world is against you, you have nothing to lose, don't you? This situation shows that people, unfortunately, aren't ready to step into the next level of spiritual development, because the world supports these conflicts by these stupid sanctions and by the call for violence against Russians. Mainstream media projects to us a picture of the fact that a schizophrenic is in the head of a Russian government, something like a dictator who can easily attack another country fraternal to us in the 21st century. I'd like to remind you that Russia has never started a single war first. I am not defending the actions of Russian governments in Ukraine now. I just try to see deeply. And Russian government is rightly afraid of NATO's approach to its borders through Ukraine. Besides, there is a large number of biological laboratories on the territory of Ukraine, which are mainstream media silent about. The Ukraine's acceptance to NATO is a direct threat to Russia's security, and the Kremlin understands this perfectly well. Information is worthless if it doesn't lead to inner harmony. If you can't be emotionally uninvolved in this or that news, it is better to abstract from it, because if after watching the news you descend hatred, sadness, negativity, and grief into your heart, it projects this kind of energy further and attach what corresponds to this negative energy. I want to remind you that negative energy is fed by those entities who have taken the entire power of the world government. That's why the governments are interested in wars, famine, inflations, and other human sufferings, because they feed on our pain and sufferings. And we can stop feeding them because we are on that stage of spiritual development when we can resist their manipulations with the help of our firm will, love, and unity. The main thing now is to keep calm and do not any negativity enter your heart and your brain. You know, a friend is known in trouble. It is in a critical situation when person shows his real face and his real nature. Now, when a war is projected between two fraternal peoples, look at those bloggers and news portals that escalate this conflict. In order to separate the truth from the evil, please look carefully. If the news projects negativity, it is the side of an evil. And if the news leads to light and harmony, it is the light of goodness. That's simple. 1,000,000 times people have asked, why God allowed all these sufferings? The universal plan is very clear. Being in the third density, which is full of low vibrations, in order to step into another fourth density that is more spiritually developed, we all need to be cleansed. And cleansing happens only with the help of pain, unfortunately. I tell about this here. The events that are happening now on the physical plane are highlighted with the fact that we have a lot of dirt inside us and we face the negative side of our personality now, and our ugly negative appearance is now going through dark night of the soul. Come out of this dark night, we will have a completely new world. The forces that are in power now want to see this world according to the scenario of the Hunger Games. The question is, do we want such a scenario? Each person should answer this question for oneself. Do you believe that people aren't able to change something on this planet? What if I say that the power belongs to us, people, not to that small group of psychopaths that arrange this carnage?
Выйду ночью в поле с конем, ночкой темной тихо пойдем, мы пойдем с конем по полю вдвоем, мы пойдем с конем по полю вдвоем. Ночью в поле звезд благодать, в поле никого не видать, только мы с конем по полю идем, только мы с конем по полю идем. Полюшка мое, родники, дальних деревень огоньки. Золотая рожь, да кудрявый лен, я влюблен в тебя, Россия, влюблен.